mothers and our fathers taught us that credit cards are evil. They're the devil. If you mess with them, it's going to ruin your life. It's going to put you into a whole bunch of debt, just like it put them into debt. And I think just hearing that enough while growing up, it just put a mental block on us, telling us, hey, just don't even worry about that stuff. If you stay away from credit cards, you'll live a wonderful life.
Doing numbers like I'm MJ and Dash Jackson and Jordan. Boy, I'm killing y'all boring. Time to give the world what they really need. That's the HO.
Good evening, tribe. My name is Darius Lester, and this is Mammoth Money Mindset. And today, I wanted to talk to you all about Black people and credit cards. It's as long as I've been around, it's always been a running joke that people named Jamal, Darius, Sharkeisha all have terrible credit scores just off the rip. But people like Tyler and Hunter were born with an 820. Have you ever wondered why that is? Well, I did. So I did a little looking around just to find out a couple of current statistics. And what I saw was that 40% of Black African Americans say that they don't even own a credit card, just outright. And 47% of African Americans have more debt than they do emergency savings. So just in those two percentages, for the country, I thought it was very interesting that we have the lowest amount of credit cards, but some of the highest amounts of debt. How the heck does that happen? I believe it stems from, one, a lack of information, right? And then, a lack of implementation from the information that we don't have. So this kind of goes into what my whole purpose is as far as financial education, working with people on their debt, teaching them about savings, helping them with their credit, so on and so forth. And those statistics, I got them from Bankrate. I'll drop the link to that in the description if you wanted to go through it yourself. But what I'm going to get into is why we have such an apprehension with credit cards in the first place. I believe for majority, I can speak for myself and some of my friends, I think it stems from a family built fear. Many of us, when we're younger, our mothers and our fathers taught us that credit cards are evil. They're the devil. If you mess with them, it's going to ruin your life. It's going to put you into a whole bunch of debt, just like it put them into debt. And I think just hearing that enough while growing up, it just put a mental block on us, telling us, hey, just don't even worry about that stuff. If you stay away from credit cards, you'll live a wonderful life. Now, being an adult myself and learning from other avenues outside of, my parents, I've learned that's not really true. Credit cards, on one hand, can be super useful, but even besides the usefulness of the credit card itself, your credit, doing things to increase your credit score actually helps you have an easier life, as opposed to avoiding credit cards in general, thus ending up with a lower credit score. So I guess honestly, just to get into the upsides of credit cards, I'll just use myself as the example. These are all things that I actually do with my credit cards. So first off, I don't use a debit card. I forgot that I even had a debit card. I use my credit card for literally everything. I use it for anything that they will let me, right? Because there's some stuff that they still don't let you pay for with credit. But for the most part, anything I can, I'm paying for with my credit card. Flights, I'm using my credit card. The taxi rides, I'm using my credit card. The bills, any bills they will let me pay with my credit card, I'm using my credit card. Gum, chips, gas. When I say everything, I mean everything. I forget that I have a debit card. Now, some people ask, Darius, why do you do that? Well, for one reason, using my debit card on any of that stuff does nothing for me. Nothing gets added to my life when I use my debit card for those things. Now, when I use a credit card, I get multiple benefits. One, off rip, rewards points, right? I think that's one reason a lot of people use their credit cards. tons of reward points for using them on all different sorts of things. They stack up over time, and then I could use those points to either, pay down some of the balance of my credit card or use it on vacation. Most recently, a lot of the points I had saved up, I spent them on my girlfriend's birthday. We went to some resort, stayed there for a few days, went on a boat, had dinner, all stuff. It was real nice. She was real happy, but that was a result of me treating my credit card like it's a debit card. Now, with that, please note what I said. I treat my credit card as if it's a debit card. So what I mean by that, besides just using it to buy anything that I want to buy, I pay off my credit cards. All of my personal credit cards, I pay them off every single month. I will use it, and sometimes I don't even wait until the end of the month. If I feel like I've been spending too much money, I'll just jump into my Chase account and I'll be like, hey, go ahead, pay full balance right now. Because I don't want to trick myself into believing that the money that's in my checking account is actually my money when I know I have a credit card balance. So I pay my credit card balance in full every single month because one, I don't want to pay interest, right? The whole reason I'm using the card is to reap the benefits. If I'm paying interest by leaving a balance on there, that interest rate is always going to be higher than any rewards that you're getting. So it doesn't make sense for me to leave a balance on there. Besides that, what's another benefit? Safety, right? If you use your debit card, so I've had my, I don't want to say stolen, we'll say information. I've had my debit card information stolen, and I've had my credit card information stolen a couple times. So when you get your debit card information stolen and people we'll just use $200 out of your debit card, that money's gone, and it's going to take you a good month, 2 months while they do their investigation to give you your money back. Credit card, I've honestly had it stolen a couple times, right? Maybe I'm irresponsible. Who knows? Maybe I'm too trusting. I've been told that. But credit card, same thing. Let's say somebody takes it, runs it up, goes buys a cheap TV for $200 on my credit card. One, I immediately get an alert on my phone saying, hey, did you buy this? And I'll be like, no. And they be like, oh, okay. They will immediately give me my $200 back. They'll credit it to my account, and then they'll run the investigation. So I'll still have access to all of my money while the investigation's going on. If it was proved later that I was the one that spent it, sure, they'll take the $200 back. But it's me getting the money back that same, maybe not same day, definitely that same week, as opposed to having to wait a couple months to have access to that money. So honestly, if you're doing any foreign travel or paying for stuff online that you're not too sure about, I infinitely would rather use a credit card for that transaction than my debit card, because I'd rather them have access to the credit card, which has liability and insurance and safety built into it, to where I can get my money back quicker, as opposed to them having access to my actual bank account where my actual money is at, and then them taking that. That's way worse. Other reasons, just comparing credit cards and debit cards. Just credit score, right? We mentioned that in the beginning. Using your debit card to pay for stuff does absolutely nothing for your credit. Nothing at all. So why not pay with your credit card and then use your debit to pay for your credit card, in that same month? Honestly, you could do it the same day if you want. If you just aren't sure how trustworthy you are with your own money, every single time you charge something to that credit card, go ahead and pay it off with your debit card. Then it's like you were using your debit card to pay for it anyway, but now your credit score is increasing, you're accumulating rewards points, and you're more protected. It only makes sense because it makes sense. Who was it? Frank Abagnale? Something like that. If you look up, he has a really nice little rant about why he pushes for credit cards so hard, why he gave both of his kids credit cards instead of debit cards, because he knows the safety of them, he knows the power of them, and he wanted them to start raising their credit scores earlier than later. So that is just my thoughts on it. If you have any other thoughts that agree with me or counter to me, honestly, I'd love to hear them. I only believe what I believe because of what I've heard. So heck, maybe I'll hear something different and change what I believe. Let me know in the comments. I appreciate it. Again, this is Darius Lester with Mammoth Money Mindset. Thank you.